Hey, what's up, y'all? So, earlier today I went to watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom on Wednesday afternoon. Gotta say, James Wan killed it with this movie. Cause look, first movie was amazing, all right? Aquaman 1 was just freaking insane. Patrick Wilson as Orm was amazing. Black Manta, everything about the movie was great, man. That's gotta be one of the best DC movies I've ever seen. I don't want to say the best because I don't want people coming for me. So one of the best, all right? That's more like it. Anyways, I was like, there's no way James Wan could mess up the sequel because he's a great director. I was like, there's no way I could see him mess this up because I've seen a lot of his movies. All of it are great. I was like, yeah, there's no way. And hell, I was not wrong because this movie was amazing. And since this is the end of the DCEU, this movie is the final movie in the DCEU universe. I'm glad that they ended with such a good movie. They didn't. I'm glad they didn't when whatever, it's ending. Let's just give out a shit movie and call it a day. So I'm glad they didn't do that, and I'm glad that they ended. They chose Aquaman to be the final movie. They ended in a good note. So until what the reboot comes out when 2025 Superman Legacy, I'm not so sure. So until then, this is the final universe related movie. So it was a good run, honestly. Like a lot of movies didn't really was not really well received by some people for certain reasons, but I don't want to go too much into that. Um, Also, yeah, I gotta say that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom gotta be like the best DC movie sequel since The Dark Knight. So I don't want to go into a conversation comparing this movie and Dark Knight. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So, because thinking of all the DC sequels that has came out since then, what Wonder Woman 84, Suicide Squad 2, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Does Batman v Superman count as a sequel though? But I'm not really sure. But yeah, if you count, all of them sucked. So not Batman vs Superman because I'm not really sure if that counts as a sequel to Man of Steel. So I'm not really gonna count that. But if you look at every other sequel that came out since Dark Knight, it kind of sucked. So yeah, this is actually breaking the sequel curse for for DC Comics movies. So hell, this movie was amazing, man. I don't know where to start. So I'm like he just went all in. James Wan just went all in. He was like, you know what, this is it. This is the last one. I'm just going all in. This is because look, of course, this movie is gonna suffer the same fate as The Flash and all the other DC movies that came out this year because of the reboot thing. A lot of people are like, you know what? What's the point of even watching this? Because the universe is not gonna go anywhere anymore. So I will keep saying this, but announcing the reboot thing was like the worst thing they could have done for all the movies that came out this year, like Shazam, Flash, Blue Beetle, and also this movie because it just made people not want to care anymore because which I don't blame them because it's true, why should we care because the universe is gone. So but I'm just gonna watch it anyways because just want to see how this movie turned out to be. And yeah, Aquaman, honestly the best superhero movie this year, better than Blue Beetle because I thought Blue Beetle was amazing. But man, James Wan, I was like, you know what? Hold my beer. So he gave us Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which was such an amazing movie. Black Manta, Orm, and Aquaman. These three, the best part of the well, no, actually no, Black Manta was the best part of the movie. I swear. Look, Black Manta, he didn't have a big role in the first Aquaman movie. It was more like a tease of him at the start, and then afterward he attacked Arthur in Italy was it? So that was just like a tease of what's to come. Whatever you saw in that movie, in this movie, it was 10 times that. They made him so OP as hell. Like, bro, everything about him was perfect in this movie. His theme, because look, I am obsessed with his theme right now, even though they did use his theme in the first movie, but they used his theme so well in this movie. It was awesome, really. His entrance, the way he everything was amazing, man. They did hit Black Manta so perfectly in this movie. So if you're a Black Manta fan, I'm gonna tell you that they did him so perfectly in this movie. He was my favorite part of the movie. Patrick Wilson, man, I like him as an actor. we really should be seeing him a lot more stuff, honestly. Like, I don't know why we don't really see him in a lot of stuff. It's always out of horror stuff, and it's good that James Wan keeps him because he is such a good actor. So he was like my favorite part about Aquaman 1. So seeing him in this movie was actually amazing too. The relationship between him and Arthur was amazing too. I like Orm's character in this. Like, they dive more into the characters of Orm and Arthur to show like Orm was just kind of misunderstood about Arthur, mainly because of how he was raised as a kid to see Arthur as a competition, you know. So that was that whole relationship thing between the two of them was actually amazing. Black Manta, man, I got it. Bro, I cannot with Black Manta. I was gonna say Black Panther, Black Manta. So everything about him, the fights that he had with Arthur, with Orm, man, that was like the best shit I've seen like in a while. Like, that was damn, bro. All the fight choreography in this movie was just, man, bro. I really want to watch this movie again. I swear, like all those stuff was so amazing. Of course, Elephant in the Room, Amber Heard, because I know a lot of people are not gonna watch this movie because of her. Honestly, I suggest you don't do that because she's not really in the movie for that long. I mean, they did give her some scenes that like they were like flashback scenes, not really flashback, but like storytelling scenes about Arthur having the kid and stuff. I mean, obviously they gotta show that. They can't just cut it out of the movie and be like, well, the baby just appeared out of nowhere, you know. So they showed all the parenting stuff, and then she appeared here and there, but not much. They tried to limit her screen time as much as possible, so she weren't in the movie as much as the first one. So I think altogether, what, 5 minutes was pretty much it for her screen time. So yeah, but honestly, man, this is not really like this is really not a movie that you should miss just because of this one reason. So yeah, I like the comedy in this movie too, cause it was not too cringy. It was actually funny. So I mean, first movie had funny jokes too. So I'm glad they actually kept it. They didn't make it overly funny or overly comedic, like to the point where it's not really funny anymore, or the jokes that are there are like cringy. They didn't do that. Like, the jokes are actually funny. Oh yeah, speaking of that, the post credits, right? So there isn't a post credit, but there's a mid credit, which is like, I think it's just supposed to be taken as a joke. But man, by God, I bet my entire life savings, which is about $2, that somebody is gonna use it. They're gonna over exaggerate that mid credit scene to use, like, they're gonna use that to be like, oh, this movie was so stupid. I imagine like they're gonna do it, like, because they kind of did something similar with the Flash, because I know a lot of people didn't like the Flash because of the actor and stuff, but like some people were using some childish reasons to hate on the movie. Where I was like, this is not even like what, like this is not even a proper reason to hate the movie, you know. By God, I guarantee you, there's gonna be at least one person that's gonna use that mid-credit scene as a reason to hate the movie, even though literally it was just supposed. Like, how dare they do a joke, man? How dare they do a mid-credit scene that's supposed to be taken as a joke? How dare they? You know, I guarantee you, because like right now with the DCEU, especially now that it's ending, people are just finding nitpicking little reason to hate on the entire movie, even though like it's not even supposed to be taken that seriously to an extent where it makes you hate a movie. But they're gonna do it, so I guarantee you, there are gonna be a group of people. I bet my entire life savings that that there's definitely gonna be people like that, man. I guarantee it. Uh, and I like the plot of the movie too. Like, what I like about the Aquaman movies was that they use a lot of real life situations in the movie. Like in the first movie, they like Orm mentioned on how humans on the surface, like they dump all the toxic stuff in the sea and stuff, and that's one of the reasons why he wanted to go to war with the surface. And they actually kind of used that to an extent in this movie too, about how all the toxics that was thrown in the ocean kind of created a plague that killed a lot of people underwater, or all the residents of Atlantis. And also the global warming stuff and shit, like the ice caps melting, Antarctica ice is melting. Like, they used a lot of like real life elements in this movie, and they kind of connected that with the plot because Black Manta did was actually doing stuff to he was purposefully heating up the earth. He was causing global warming for on purpose to melt the ice to find something, which is spoiler. So Black Manta was amazing, bro. That him with that black trident and everything, those scenes was I can keep going about Black Manta, man, but he was just so amazing. Sheesh. Also, yeah, speaking of Black Manta, I really thought they were gonna go with the storyline of him killing Arthur's kid, because Arthur's baby, because that did happen in the comics, but they kind of went in that route. And I don't want to say it because that's more spoiler, but they did kind of go in that route. So great. So they're kind of following the comics a little bit, and we actually got a little more on Arthur as well, about him being king of Atlantis. And like I said, that was more about his relationship with Orm, all of those stuff, because I really liked that relationship thing. And we actually got more about Orm's life and how he was raised to see Arthur, and also how Arthur was taking his job as a king and everything. So I actually liked that they were actually talking about that more, and that Arthur never really wanted to be king. He only became king because he wanted to keep Atlantis from attacking the surface, or specifically Orm from attacking the surface. So he was like, "Well, I didn't really want to be king, but if it's the only way to keep Atlantis from attacking the ocean, the surface, then I gotta be." And he was like, "I find being a king so boring." So I was like, "All right, that like there get like a lot of those conversations happened between Orm and also Arthur, so which I originally thought was gonna go in this specific direction, but it didn't. Like, because the way they were talking and they were making it seem, I was like, oh, okay, this person is gonna be king again because he was actually a better king and he knows how to do things. And but no, Arthur remained king at the end, but this said person was like was gonna just like occasionally give him advice and stuff. So yeah, so yeah, great. Honestly, everything about this movie is amazing. The effects was amazing. Like, even in the last movie, the effects was great. Themes, the music and everything, soundtrack, everything was perfect about this movie. Sheesh. I'm like, also, yeah, I would say this though. At the end, so what Black Manta was doing in this movie, he was kind of possessed by the Black Trident to, because the Lost Kingdom is actually basically like a kingdom, a lost kingdom full of dead people, basically. And it was like King Atlan's brother who became a monster called Kordax, I think was the name. So they were like, at the end they did reveal him, but I feel like they didn't really do much with him, even though like I know he was not supposed to be the villain. It was kind of like Aquaman 1 where they showed Black Manta, but they didn't really do much with him. It was just like a tease because Orm was the villain. So same thing in this situation. This movie, Black Manta was shown to be the villain even in the trailers. So I was like, yeah, it makes sense why they didn't really do much with Kordax. So Black Manta's arc was everything was amazing. How he wanted to avenge his father's death, he wanted to get revenge, and the Black Trident was actually making him want to do it more. Like that whole thing with the Black Trident was amazing. Then that also kind of strengthened Arthur and Orm's relationship as brothers. All of it was amazing, man. This movie was just so good. I can watch this movie many times. I really want to watch this again. Yeah, which is not something that I usually say for superhero movies, because I don't really watch superhero movies like many times that often. So this is one of those times. I gotta watch this again. Even Aquaman 1 I watched it multiple times because it was just so good, man. So it just kind of sucks because of the reboot thing. We won't get to see Black Manta again, because I understand what happened with Black Manta in the movie, because it was pointless to keep him around, because the universe is like the universe is gone. This is the last movie, so I understand if they purposefully didn't want to keep some characters around. You're like, what's the point? I mean, it's over. So it's not like they can come back with the same timeline or like within the same universe or anything. So I was like, yeah, it makes sense for them to go in this direction for some characters, but it still kind of sucks that we won't able to see them because they are so good. James, man, why can't James Wan be in charge of DC, man? Like, this is so stupid. I think James Wan being in charge of DC would have been way better than James Gunn. Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't agree with James Gunn being in charge of DC. You know, I'm sorry. All right, I don't. If that offended anybody, I don't care. But James Wan would have been a way better choice to be in charge of DC. But because seeing on how he did Aquaman 1, Aquaman 2, I was like, sheesh, bro. They should have let him do it. Like, bro, this. Like he really said, you know what? If this is the end of the universe, I'm gonna go all in, and he just made this masterpiece, bro. Fights like I cannot get over all of the fights and the music, coming together for the fights and everything. It was amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So this is it. This is the end of the end of the universe. It was a great run while it lasted. I don't know. Maybe I should rank the DCEU movies. I guess I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, best superhero movie of the year. Best sequel since DC. Sorry, since Dark Knight. Yeah, there's got to be one of the best superhero movies, bro. Got it. All right. So James Wan killed it. That is all. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom review. So if you enjoyed this, give this video a like. Comment down below what you thought about the movie if you've already seen it, or about this review. What do you think? Agree, disagree? It's up to you. Okay with anything. So yeah, that is all. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Take care. Goodbye.